If you've been learning about manifestation, law of attraction, and personal development, especially the woo kind, you've probably heard that you really need to connect to source energy. But what does that mean? I remember when I first started getting into this, I was so confused about connecting to source energy. I heard about all the magical powers of it, how you get all these signs from the universe, you get downloads, and it can help you with making decisions. And I was like, this is all great and I really want that, but I didn't know how to do it. And so through lots of trial and error, I finally figured it out, and I feel super connected to source energy these days, and I do get a lot of great information downloads, and I do feel like it helps me a lot with manifestation success and with making decisions and with generally having a more enjoyable life. So if you're interested in learning how to connect to source energy, keep watching this video. First off, welcome to the Chic Life, where we talk about overcoming your negative thoughts so you can manifest the life of your dreams. Like I said, today we're going to talk about source energy, but I especially want to talk about reasons that you may not be connected to source energy, because now that I'm on the other end of it, as I look back, I realized there were a lot of things I was doing wrong that were keeping me from getting connected to source energy, and I want to help you overcome these potential roadblocks to getting tapped into that powerful source energy yourself. Before we start, I want to say that I will be sharing a free masterclass about overcoming your manifestation blocks. If you're interested in that, I will have a link to sign up in the description box below. If this masterclass is already passed, good news, I am going to make a replay download for you, so you can still get access to this really awesome, really powerful manifestation masterclass by checking the link in the description box below. So 3 reasons that you are not connected to source energy and what you can do to get connected. The first reason is you're not making space for it, and your mind is just too cluttered and all over the place. So as a type A overachiever, I have spent most of my life being go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. How do I get to the next level of something? How do I achieve that next goal? How do I move on to the next big thing? And I was always just so focused on achieving and doing and hustling that I was pretty much nonstop. Unfortunately, this led to a bit of burnout in addition to just keeping me disconnected from source energy. Think of it like you've got a cup of water and your cup is completely full. It doesn't have room for anything else. It's already churning with all the things that you're working on, all the different projects you've got going on, and so there just isn't room in your cup to have any space for source energy. You have to be able to create space in that cup so that there's somewhere for source energy to go, because if your mind is too full, you're just not going to be able to reach source energy like you really want to. I've personally noticed that now that I've slowed down quite a bit and I have taken on less tasks, and just generally have more space in my schedule, it's also created a lot more space in my mind, and it's made it so much easier for me to connect to source energy and get all those good downloads and all that good information, and yes, manifesting success. So if you're thinking, Diana, but I'm too go, 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 I've got too much going on, I have to do all these different things, I have all these projects, I have these events I have to attend and this and that. I know how you feel, because I felt the same way too, but I have to tell you, after I started dialing back, being more selective about what I wanted to do and not just trying to do so many things at one time, not only do I feel more peaceful overall, but I feel like, yeah, life is just so much better in addition to getting that source energy connection. So I will quote Gay Hendricks, who wrote the awesome book, The Big Leap. He says that when you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. So I know this may be something that you really don't want to hear. I know if you had told this to me when I was in my go, go, go mentality, I would have been like kind of annoyed maybe, and I would have been like, no, but I have so much to do. But I have to say, slowing down, making space, it really is important. And if what you're doing is not getting you where you want to go, unfortunately, you're going to have to make some changes, and that may be in the form of dialing it back a little bit. So what you want to do for this is you want to create more space in your schedule, and that's going to create more space in your mind. So see if there are any projects or tasks or events that you can cut back on, and try to make more time in your schedule for just open time where you're not doing something else. And I don't mean like, oh, I'm gonna go for a bike ride, so I'm gonna like plug in my AirPods and I'm gonna listen to a book. Like, no, just give your mind some room to breathe. You would be surprised how much actually happens in that space where you allow yourself to not have to always be going and thinking and doing. Creating space in your mind is going to create a calmer environment for you and make it so much easier to connect to source energy. In addition to dialing back on what you've got going on, I think meditation is one of the best things you can do because this is a really great way for you, especially if you're type A, to do something that's really not doing. So sign up for a meditation class or set aside some time in your schedule to do something with like a meditation app. I personally use Calm, not affiliated. But I find that by making the space for that in my schedule, like booking that time, it kind of becomes part of what I'm doing, but gives you an opportunity to not do, because in meditation, it's all about letting your mind kind of take a break from what's going on in the world. And meditation was really hard for me at first. I have to make I could make multiple separate videos about meditation, but just trust me that it may be difficult at very first, but just keep at it because that's really going to powerfully connect you to that source energy that you want to reach. Okay, so the second thing you might be doing is just ignoring signs completely. Signs of being connected to source energy, or like you may be connected, but just not getting those downloads because you're not paying attention to them. So a lot of times people say when you're connected to source energy, you start seeing synchronicities. This is like patterns, when you start seeing repetition in seemingly separately unrelated things. This is also seeing angel numbers or other things that are indicators that you are connected to source energy. So sometimes you're just so busy and distracted that they're happening all around you. First of all, a lot of angel numbers happen all around us. For example, like when 11:11 a.m. hits the clock, that happens every day, and then it happens again at 11 p.m. And if we're super busy, we're not going to notice it. Now, sitting by the clock and waiting for 11:11 to happen, that's not the same as being connected to source energy. It's kind of funny, like I've noticed that when I've been connected to source energy, I just start seeing all these synchronicities. Part of the reason that I'm able to see all those synchronicities and angel numbers and all these things, get these downloads, is because I've made space in my mind, following what we talked about in the previous step, making space in my mind, and also just being more generally mindful of what's around me. So what you want to do here is just start practicing more mindfulness, and I like to work on like daily mindfulness. You will get some mindfulness from meditation because, for example, a lot of times in meditation classes I've done, they just tell you to kind of notice what's going on, notice how the temperature feels in the room, notice how the air feels on your skin, notice the sounds that are happening around you, and it's a lot about just noticing what's going on. I personally like to practice like what I call walking mindfulness. So this is like when I'm walking around, I just try to be really present in the moment and just notice what's going on, and especially just kind of take in awe the natural beauty that's all around us. I love to look at the sky, how blue it is, how the clouds look, how pretty this plant is over here. Look at how nice this loving couple is. Whatever it is that's going around you, just observe it and just kind of take it in and be excited about what you're seeing. It's a really easy way to practice mindfulness and get you really in the present moment. And when you are noticing what's around you, you may start noticing more synchronicities and angel numbers. So the third reason you may not be connected to source energy is because you're not aligned enough. So several years ago, I was in a pretty bad place. It would definitely be something I consider a rock bottom, and my vibe was super low, and I was definitely not aligned. So in this time, not only did life feel harder, but I was definitely not connected to source energy. This is more like when I was reading about source energy and wanting in on that, but unwilling to make space in my schedule and mind to allow for that connection to happen. So in addition to the mindfulness and to the meditation, just generally working on raising my vibe was really critical to me being powerfully connected to source energy. So I've done a lot of work to raise my vibe, and a lot of it actually is around mindset, which is what I work with my one-on-one coaching clients on, focusing on positive thinking, which if you're newer to this may sound like woo-woo BS, but words have power. This is something I teach my clients about all the time and something I talk about here on my channel as well. But words are really powerful and they really do create energy for you. And when you are vibing at a lower vibe, law of attraction states that like attracts like. So if you are focused on negative things, negative thoughts, you're going to be attracting more low vibe things. When you want to connect to source energy is a really, really pure, high vibe energy. So you're going to need to raise your vibe if you want to get connected to it or closer to it. Now, I've been able to connect to source energy through really difficult times, like when I went through my divorce, when I've been through other really challenging, difficult times of my life. So this isn't about like life is great and everything's wonderful. This is just about choosing to do high vibe habits. For example, practicing daily gratitude in addition to focusing on having a more positive mindset. meditating. These are all things that raise your vibe, and the more you raise your vibe, the closer you're going to get to source energy, or you may even have like little spurts of connecting to source energy, along with maybe these other lower times where maybe you're sad. That's totally fine. We're spiritual beings in human form, so we are going to feel some negative emotions at some point in time. But what I found works really well is not wallowing in that negative emotion, but still letting myself feel bad if I feel bad, but also practicing daily gratitude, because just because I was going through a divorce, for example, didn't mean that there weren't all these other amazing things happening in my life. And reframing with gratitude and realizing that, yeah, I'm going through something hard, but there's all this other great stuff over here, really just helped me raise my vibe. And I was actually probably one of the most high vibe times of my life is when I was going through my divorce, just because I was practicing so many things, meditating, and yeah, raising vibe is not only very important, but also very fun and will connect you with that source energy. So like I said, favorite ways for me to raise my vibe, this could be a whole video on its own, but daily gratitude is my number one thing. And if you did nothing else, I think that would take you a long way to raising your vibe. After that, I also like to spend time in nature, just get out and walk around, and like I said, practice that walking mindfulness. For a third thing, I also really enjoy moving my body. So when you are moving your body, you're moving your energy around and generating really positive energy, especially if you're moving your body in a way that you love. For me, that's Zumba. I just get so happy when I'm in Zumba class, and I just feel amazing after. And when you're feeling amazing, that's a good sign that you are in high vibe energy. So like I said, raising your vibe, like attracts like. You're going to raise your vibe, and that's going to bring more good stuff to you, in addition to getting you connected to that source energy. So if you have any tips on connecting to source energy, definitely leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe and turn on your notification bell, because I have some more awesome high vibe mindset and manifestation videos coming your way soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!